Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence can feel when you're alone? No messages, no plans, no one is sitting beside you, just you and your own thoughts. There was a time when I didn't like that feeling. If I had a free evening, I'd immediately look for something to do. I'd scroll through my phone, watch random videos, text someone, put on music, anything, just to fill the silence. And if I saw other people going out, laughing with friends, traveling, living what looked like exciting lives, being alone suddenly felt even worse. It made me wonder, am I missing out? Does everyone have someone except me? Why does my life feel so quiet? Maybe you felt that too. Maybe you've spent time with people you didn't even enjoy being around, simply because being with the wrong people felt easier than being alone. Maybe you've stayed in a relationship longer than you should have. Maybe you've tolerated disrespect. Maybe you've kept friendships alive that had already died years ago. Not because those people made you happy, but because losing them meant facing something you were afraid of: yourself. And I think that's something we don't talk about enough. Sometimes we're not afraid of being alone. We're afraid of what we might hear when everything becomes quiet. Because when you're alone, there's nobody to distract you from yourself. You start noticing things: the dreams you've been ignoring, the emotions you've been avoiding, the relationship you know isn't working, the life you're living versus the life you actually want. Silence has a strange way of telling us the truth, and maybe that's exactly why we run from it. But here's something I learned. Being alone and being lonely are two completely different things. Loneliness is feeling disconnected. You can feel lonely in a room full of people. You can feel lonely while lying next to someone you love. You can have hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, notifications every 5 minutes, and still feel like nobody truly knows you. Being alone, on the other hand, is simply being with yourself. And once you understand that difference, something begins to change. I remember the first time I intentionally went somewhere alone. Nothing dramatic, just coffee. I walked into a cafe, ordered something, and sat at a table by myself. At first, I felt awkward. I kept looking at my phone. I wondered if people were looking at me. I imagined them thinking, "Does this guy have no friends?" It's funny when I think about it now, because nobody cared. Everyone was busy living their own life. But in my head, being alone felt like something I needed to explain. Eventually, I put my phone down. I looked around. I watched people walking outside. I noticed conversations happening at other tables. I drank my coffee slowly. And for the first time, being alone didn't feel empty. It felt peaceful. Nothing extraordinary happened that day, but something small changed inside me. I realized I didn't always need someone else to make an ordinary moment meaningful. And that's where the power of being alone begins. When you become comfortable with your own company, you stop choosing people out of desperation. Think about that. When you're terrified of being alone, you'll accept almost anyone. You'll ignore red flags. You'll forgive the same disrespect again and again. You'll chase people who keep walking away. You'll shrink yourself just to convince someone to stay. Because somewhere inside you, you believe having someone is better than having no one. But once you learn to be alone, your standards change. You stop asking, "How do I make them stay?" And you start asking, "Do I even want this person in my life?" That's a powerful shift. Because now, you're not choosing relationships to escape loneliness. You're choosing them because they genuinely add something beautiful to your life. Being alone also teaches you something that no motivational video can teach you: who you are when nobody is watching. Think about how much of our lives are influenced by other people. What we wear, what we buy, what career we choose, what success should look like, even what happiness should look like. We're constantly receiving messages about who we're supposed to become. But when you're alone, those voices become quieter. And eventually, you start hearing your own. You begin asking different questions. What do I actually enjoy? What kind of life do I want? What am I doing because I love it? And what am I doing because I want people to approve of me? Those aren't easy questions, but they're important ones. Because if you never spend time alone, you can spend your entire life becoming someone you never actually wanted to be. There's another kind of being alone that nobody prepares you for. The loneliness that comes after losing someone. A breakup, a friendship ending, someone moving away, sometimes even someone passing away. Suddenly, there's an empty space where a person used to be, and your first instinct might be to fill it. Find someone new, stay busy, keep scrolling, anything to avoid feeling the absence. But sometimes, you need to sit with that emptiness. Not forever, just long enough to understand what it's trying to teach you. Because healing isn't always about replacing what you lost. Sometimes, it's about discovering who you are without it. And slowly, something beautiful happens. You start enjoying things you once thought required company. You go for walks alone. You watch sunsets alone. You read. You write. You sit quietly with your thoughts. You start building a life that doesn't collapse the moment someone leaves. And that's freedom. Not the freedom of needing nobody. We all need people. We need love, friendship, connection, community. Being alone doesn't mean becoming emotionally cold. It doesn't mean pushing everyone away. It simply means your happiness is no longer completely dependent on someone else's presence. You can love people deeply without losing yourself inside them. You can enjoy someone's company without being terrified of their absence. You can say, "I want you in my life," without secretly meaning, "I need you in my life because I don't know how to be okay without you." There's a huge difference. So if being alone feels uncomfortable right now, don't try to become a completely different person overnight. Start small. Take yourself for coffee. Go for a walk without calling anyone. Eat one meal without scrolling through your phone. Sit in your room for 10 minutes without trying to escape the silence. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Not, what should I be feeling? Just, what am I actually feeling? You might be surprised by the answer. And then, start building something that belongs only to you. A hobby, a skill, a dream, a morning routine. Something that reminds you your life is still moving, even when nobody is walking beside you. Because one day, someone new may enter your life. A friend, a partner, someone you love deeply. And I hope they do. But when they arrive, I hope you don't hand them the responsibility of making your life complete. I hope you meet them as someone who already knows themselves, someone who already has dreams, someone who already knows how to sit with silence, someone who can say, "My life was meaningful before you arrived, and your presence makes it even more beautiful." Maybe that's the real power of being alone. It's not learning to live without people. It's learning not to abandon yourself, just to keep them. So tonight, if you find yourself sitting alone, don't immediately reach for your phone. Don't assume something is missing. Sit there for a moment. Listen to the silence. Maybe you're not as lonely as you think. Maybe you're simply getting to know someone you've ignored for far too long. Yourself. And who knows? You might discover that your own company isn't such a bad place to be.